whatever it is today that is holding you back, that's keeping you stuck, let it go. Just let it go. We spend way too much time engulfed in old stuff that we can't do anything about. We can't change it. We can't change people. We can't make people be sorry. We just can't. We can't change it. It's over. It's done with. We got to move on. We got to let it go. We just got to say, it is what it is. We just can't make somebody be sorry. We cannot stay stuck in the past. And I talk to people every week who are stuck in the past. They're still stuck on something that happened a year ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And I think about what a waste of time, what a wasted life that we have spent harboring on stuff that happened that we can't do anything about. We can't change it. We can't make it better. We can't change the person. The person can't read our minds. It could have simply been a mistake. It could have been an error in judgment. We don't know what it was, but we got to let it go. We have got to learn to let things go very quickly because they will make us sick in our bodies. They will make us sick in our minds. Can you imagine replaying something over and over in your head that happened a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? What a waste of time. And this is a lesson that I've had to learn myself, is that you got to let it go. You have to move on. You have to let people go. You have to forgive. And it's not going to benefit me at all to keep holding on to old stuff. And so I was reading something last week. A book was talking about, in this book, the author was talking about when we don't forgive somebody, it's like we carry that person on our back. And I thought, wow, what a great visual explanation of how unforgiveness affects us. And you just take one person that you haven't forgiven, that you carry this person on your back, and you add to that, and you're on your knees carrying all this unforgiveness, all these physical bodies on your back because you haven't forgiven them. So I encourage you today, as I encourage myself, to let things go quickly. Just let it go. You cannot change it. Nothing good can come from holding on to stuff that happened in the past. And so you can journal about it. You can journal about how it made you feel, what happened, your point of view, what you wish would have happened, what you hope would have happened. You can journal about it. You can talk to an expert about it, whether that's a pastor, priest, a counselor, therapist. You can talk to a friend about it. And so I'm very careful about talking to friends about problems now, because I realize that the more we talk about a problem, we make it bigger and bigger and bigger. So something small becomes very exaggerated, and it loses, it grows in power, and we lose our power because we let something grow that should not have grown. And so I encourage you today to let it go. If you're holding on to something, just let it go. Just let it go and move on. Just say, it was wrong. You wanted something different. You expected something different. It didn't happen, but you're choosing to move on. You're choosing to move forward. And so I see people who are still holding on to stuff that happened with their parents who are deceased. So what are we hoping to accomplish by harboring this unforgiveness about our parents who are deceased? There's nothing we can do about it. Even if our parents are alive, I believe, as a parent of 5, myself, 3 adult children, that as parents, we do the best that we can. And hopefully, when we learn better, we do better. Hopefully, we're better parents than our parents were, just because we've learned from their lessons. We've learned what not to do. We've learned what to do, and we learn what not to do. But we have got to learn to let it go. It's over and done with. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing that we can do to change the past. The past is the past, and we have to learn to let it go. We have to learn to forgive. We have to learn to not have unrealistic expectations of people. And oftentimes we expect people to be perfect, but we want people to expect us to be human, imperfect humans. And so it's kind of like an oxymoron, right? We expect people to be perfect. Everybody else has to be perfect, and we expect people to see us as imperfect humans. But in reality, we're all imperfect. We're all going to make mistakes. Sometimes it's intentional, and a lot of times it's not intentional. It's just, maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe it was just something that happened. Maybe it was we had an offensive nature. We just don't know. Sometimes we're too sensitive. But in any case, we have to learn to forgive. We have to learn how to let things go. And so that we can move on with our lives, so we can get unstuck, we have to learn to let things go.